Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
All right, and welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are radio for the local craft beer movement. Back on the road again. I'm Aaron Williams.
And I'm Tim Dennis. We've been on the road a lot, I think, one time in the studio in
I think so.
a month and a half or so, but it's a good time. We're
it's good,
doing
yeah.
fun stuff, and we are in Athens, Georgia today. We're at the 22nd Annual Classic City Brewfest.
It's awesome. We got a crowd here, lots of folks going around, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's awesome, yeah. Since we are in Athens, Aaron, we're going to focus on Athens for the most part.
For the most part. We have one little
we got our friends
curveball.
from Scofflaw. We're hanging out, drinking the beer, talking to them, so they decided to join us here. Guys, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
How's the fest going so far? Just getting it kicked off, but looks like a pretty nice crowd here, huh?
It is happening here. There is a lot of people, a lot of great beer. So.
Very
Seems to
cool.
be good buzz in the cask tent. Everyone's all about
Yeah,
ours,
some
so
good stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's your cask here?
We have the Hooligan IPA, New England style, a lot of late edition hopping. We added some extra newer hops to the mix, Laurel and Galena, some special hops that not a lot of breweries can find, so I'm excited about it. It's got a nice floral back end to it. So
Very
Excellent.
cool. Awesome. And you guys have an interesting IPA at the brewery right now. It's I feel a little dirty that you guys had to do that, but a little bet with Shipyard.
Yeah.
Well, the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
you guys had to pay the piper there, right?
We did. I had to give a little shout out to Tom Brady on the bottom of the cans.
Oh, man.
As much as it hurt, we had to do it. We had a bet to come clean on, and we did it, and we knocked it out of the park. All main ingredients in an IPA, extra oats, more than anything we would put in any other beer. It was kind of just stuff. They shipped us a whole pallet of ingredients and said, hey, make this
a
beer
beer
happen, and we did
Goat
it.
IPA, huh?
it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
Oh,
they
man.
actually, you would think Shipyard pumpkin beer or something like that. But
Exactly.
we were pretty excited that they wanted to do an IPA with us. So
You should have slid some pumpkin in there just to
Just to mess around with them.
I can't lie and say that we weren't nervous that we were going to get a pumpkin beer shipped down. But,
Have
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
So.
We actually had to figure that out. But you know what? It's a fantastic IPA, but like I said, I feel kind of dirty drinking it because of that, but
Yeah.
it's still excellent. Good stuff. So definitely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely,
Thank
guys.
you.
Yeah, guys. Well, awesome. Well, I hope the rest of the fest goes great for you here.
Appreciate
We're going
it.
to come
Yeah,
drink your
thanks.
beer here in a little bit when we get wrapped
yeah,
up.
we got 3 out here in the main corridor with all the Georgia breweries.
Awesome.
Okay.
Check them all out.
Yeah. Anything new coming from the brewery you guys can tell us about? Give a little hint there.
Yeah, we got a little bottle release coming up. I'd
Okay.
say I can't really
Is
say
it a little
specifically
caffeinated?
when. No, not caffeinated yet.
No, okay.
I
All right.
can't- Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, the
nothing
coffee
like that.
absentium's probably not the next one. We're
Okay.
looking more at this. It's a Maniac. It's 12% rye strong ale.
Nice.
A nice rye base. The idea behind it was supposed to be like a Manhattan cocktail, so we put some orange peel and some cherries in it and aged it in rye mash bourbon barrels, so it's quite delicious.
Sounds good.
Okay, that sounds
Unreal
fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unreal good.
Awesome.
It's
Guys,
definitely
thanks so
something
much.
different.
Definitely.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Definitely.
So, Aaron, we've had a fun week, man. What'd you do this week?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I've had a really nice week actually. This week we took a little bit of a trip. I did a little bit of bottle shopping, and I found a couple of brews that I'm pretty happy about. First of all, brand new brewery, of course, coming to the Georgia area, Catawba, Peanut Butter Jelly Time, which is always fun. Also checked out the other one from Burial, that collaboration. What is it? Well, I can always remember this.
I know for a fact
that
you
you
don't
don't
party. Is that it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
nice.
that's out there. So I had that. I had a really good time, and then of course while we were setting up, I got here early, so I was able to sample some awesome beers here. I was able to talk to Good Word Brewing, a brand new brew pub coming out
Very cool.
in
Awesome.
there, and some Gate City and some Creature Comforts, and I plan to drink a lot more when
All
we're
the
done.
good stuff,
All
huh?
the good things. Exactly. How about
Yeah.
yourself?
Well, I went out last Saturday to the Saison Day at the Porter.
Okay.
And they had some Saisons from Blackberry Farm and from Allagash, and they had a bunch of cheeses from Blackberry Farm, and just a really good time there. Also got to go out to a preview of Yard House at the Battery at the new Braves Stadium.
Beautiful,
So,
beautiful facility, isn't it?
very big spot, beautiful spot, and they've kind of revamped their beer menu.
Okay.
And a lot more locals on
Yeah,
tap
I was
there,
really
so.
impressed with all the local selections they've had.
Yeah.
So really almost every brewery has been represented, and they've got probably about I believe there's almost 24 taps of local brews there at the Yard House. So
Very cool.
So
and
it's a good list, yeah.
so far here at the fest, I've been able to have gin and juicy from our friends at Dry
Yep,
County,
absolutely.
which is nice. A cask they brought. I hit the Good Word Brewing.
Yep.
Got some Bridges, and one that just got back to Georgia that I'm very excited about. They had some Jolly Pumpkin beer over there.
Yeah, Jolly Pumpkin. It looks like those Shelton Brothers beers are starting to come back, which is certainly nice. I actually was able, while you were taking a bathroom break, I went to Wicked Weed and got the last of the Black Angel. So I was very happy about that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, sorry. There's none left.
Already gone?
It is already gone.
So this is all your fault,
No,
Aaron.
no. Becky actually gave us the hookup on it, and then friend of the show, Brian, and I sprinted over.
Okay.
And we barely got enough. I think there was one more afterwards.
Guys got
it was delicious. Just want to let you know.
And I want to give a quick shout-out to our buddy Matt Simpson. I saw
go.
him, as you drink a lot of beer, to help settle it. Matt does a product called Beer Aid, BEERAID, that helps with the digestion of your beer so you don't get so much gastrointestinal distress. So thanks.
He
hooked us up with some of it here. So just a shout out there to Matt's product.
Excellent.
Beer Aid.
Excellent. Cool. Well, I would do a Truck and Tap Beer of the Week this week, but we've got so many beers here.
All of them.
It would be all of them. So Truck and Tap, shout out to one of our awesome sponsors. The Truck and Tap Beer of the Week are all the 80 million beers that are here at the Classic City Brew Fest. But we do have some headlines to talk about, so let's get into them.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
Got an article I was just reading, interesting thing that basically there was a lot of Canadian people coming down to check out Georgia and possibly expand their distribution to Georgia breweries. So they stopped by Hop City, they stopped by Sweetwater, a couple of other places, but they were there with the Consulate General of Canada, Big Rock Brewery out of Calgary, Bulwark Cider out of New Ross, Nova Scotia, Driftwood Brewery from Victoria, British Columbia, Pump House Brewery from Moncton, New Brunswick. There was a bunch of provinces and provincial breweries that were in the area. So maybe we'll start seeing some more Canadian beers down here.
Canadians making a move on Georgia.
They do, exactly.
Right.
Take off, eh? Exactly.
Yes.
That's beauty. So, and also, too, we're here at a craft beer festival, of course, the 22nd annual Classic City Brewfest in Athens. Americus had their first ever craft beer festival this weekend, last weekend. So congratulations to them.
I saw some news articles. Apparently that went pretty well for their first craft beer.
Yeah, they
festival.
did, actually.
Cool.
And I talked to a couple of guys. The guys from Omaha actually drove from Americus up here overnight to make sure that they got to this Brewfest. So those guys were working hard to try and make sure that happens. So, we had that going on. We also have, you may not know this, but Tim and I are huge hip-hop fans.
We are.
We do.
I used to have a hip-hop group back in the day.
You did? What was... You did? No,
I didn't.
No, it wasn't.
I just listened. That's for the best.
It's pretty the best. And so one of our favorites is Run the Jewels. We went to listen to a lot of that going down for Hunaku's Day in Tampa there a few weeks ago. They've got a beer now. So they've actually just collaborated with Burial Beer and Interborough Spirits of Ales for a Run the Jewel Stay Gold India Pale Ale. So
I want to try some of that.
I do too, actually. So Killer Mike, if you're listening, hook us up with it.
Yeah,
so.
come see us. Bring us. I'm sure he listens to beer.
I'm sure he does too. Absolutely. So, but apparently it has aromas of dank pineapple and lemon honeydew, tangy citrus, and piney flavors with a clean, bitter finish. An IPA, like I said, it just debuted about a week ago and up in North Carolina. So if you can get it, and save us a can if you can find one. Be
very
great.
Cool.
Definitely.
Sounds awesome.
So yeah, very cool to see that. Beer closer to home here, Terrapin, of course. You just said you went to the Yard House. Right next door, they've got the Terrapin Brew House that they've got there with the Fox Brothers collaboration. They've got one of their brand new beers. It's just been out. It's called Terrapin Chopsecutioner. Hint, hint, it's part of their Hopsecutioner brand, but they've also aged it on baseball bats. Yeah. Aged on baseball bats.
Okay, that's crazy. That stuff's it's interesting to see, and I'd want to try it. I want to see what notes. What are baseball bats made out of?
Usually ash or usually ash or maple, but I believe ash is the most prevalent. So it's a Mizuno wood bat. Basically, the hop lineup is same as the Hopsecutioner sibling, but they've got a little bit of a lighter body and a lower ABV. So they've kind of adjusted the recipe a little bit. I did talk to Spike, of course, before they opened the brew lab, and they're saying they're going to brew a little bit lighter flavors and styles of beers, so folks can drink more of them, more sessionable beers at the ballpark.
Baseball beers there.
Exactly. It's good drinking beers. Hopefully they're not going to do any with like pine tar or baseball gloves.
You don't know.
You never know. So we'll see what's next for those guys over in Terrapin. Last story here. I love this story. This is one of my favorite stories that I've seen in quite a while. There was a horse in Alabama. His name is Mac. He is actually has some sort of issue where it's hard for him to basically retain moisture, retain hydration, and he has been prescribed beer to drink. And his favorite so far is Good People's IPA.
He's a craft beer snob.
He's a craft beer snob. I love this guy. Mac is awesome.
Yes.
So Mac the horse.
One a day, though. He's responsible with these drinks.
Exactly. One a day. You can't be galloping on 2 or 3, but he has beer a day, and apparently it helps him and it keeps him better. So congratulations, Mac. I think you found a good craft beer horse.
That's a great medicine.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite stories of the day. So there you go.
Awesome. You guys are listening to the Beer Guys radio show. We need to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a minute here in Athens, Georgia, the Classic City Brewfest, and we'll be talking to Chris Herron from Creature Comforts Brewing.
There he is. All right.
I'm Garrett Lockhart, President and Brewmaster at Red Brick Brewing, and you're listening to the Beer Guys radio show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta-area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
It's just in time for beer drinking season, and we have got the shirt for you. Head to beerguysradio.com/store and get your own exclusive, official Beer Guys Radio t-shirt. That's right. They're soft, they're sexy, and they come in both black and gray for your convenience. Be the envy of your next bottle share and pick up one of these bad boys right now. We've also got some sweet glasses and stickers on sale, too. Head to beerguysradio.com/store to check out our merch. You know you want some.
Are you into hashtags? So are we. Tag the Beer Guys on Twitter and Instagram.
No point in steering now. Take off and steer that thing.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Hey, welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website, and of course, we're on the socials if you can check us out there. We are at the 22nd Annual Classic City Brewfest in lovely Athens, Georgia, and we are here with a lovely Athens brewer. Chris Herron, CEO of Creature Comforts, joins us today. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Excellent, excellent, cool. Well, this is quite a festival. This is my first time here, so
really?
It's
man,
it's a big one.
This is the epitome of beer festivals for us here in Georgia. We really love this thing. Owen does a great job. He's been doing a great job for obviously a really long time, and
yep.
I think for just about every Athens brewery, this is the first place you ever pour beer. I think it's like Terrapin, us, Southern. I see Academia out there today, so really a great launching ground.
How long have you been coming to this festival?
That's 2014 was our first one, so this is 3 years.
Yeah, awesome.
Right?
So not a lot going.
Fourth time.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So not a lot of things going on with you guys. I'm pretty quiet. Not a lot of things this year.
Taking it pretty easy. Feet up, relaxing.
Exactly.
No,
seriously.
There's nothing going on.
No, lots of stuff with you guys. First of all, one of the big news, of course, that we've seen with you all is expansion plans.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going great. So I was actually over there yesterday, and I got a chance to walk through it. So we're in the deconstruction phase right now. So taking things out, it was they'd had a lot of roof failure, and so there was a lot of debris and stuff that had fallen in. So they've done, I'd say they're 95% of the way of clearing everything out. And through that process, we've been trying to salvage what we could, and ideally we'll work with, kind of like we did the last brewery, work with a local woodworker, try to get some of that put back into the brewery in the form of tables or bars or something like that. So really cool old building, trying to preserve the history where we can.
Yeah, because looking at it, and this is something a lot of breweries do. We've talked about it several times. If you just went in and looked at that building and you were looking for a place to move into, you'd move along quickly if you went there. But you look at it, you see the potential of what you can do with it in the space that you need and all that. And so breweries are great about really revitalizing those kinds of places.
Yeah, I think we see things a little differently. We're this sort of new age manufacturing too, right? There's a lot of these old mills that the traditional sort of manufacturing in the U.S. is gone in a lot of ways, and really at the heart of breweries is manufacturing. We're creating and crafting beautiful products, but you can't really separate it from the idea that it's really a great manufacturing. So a lot of breweries are able to take and looks at buildings that, I mean, this place has been empty for 30 years, you know. I'm sure other people have looked at it, but just can't really find the use for it. There's just not a lot of small manufacturing that happens. And so, you know, breweries provide an incredible resource to be able to take some of these over and bring them back to life.
Yeah, you guys are making widgets, but much more delicious widgets, maybe.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
Right.
I mean, I use the term manufacturing loosely. You know? I mean, that sounds so, you know, sort of archaic.
But it is. It's a production facility.
It's a production facility.
I mean, at its core, that's what it is.
It's this beautiful balance of manufacturing and creativity, and you know, the ability to consistently produce the same product while also being creative and finding new ways to do it is kind of the beautiful balance.
Just a
that is
super
brewing.
easy job, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm thankful that I've got great brewers. Because, they make it look easy when I know it's not.
There you go.
Now, speaking of your brewers and your beer and that, one just came back recently that I really love, Cosmic Debris, back out there. So I take it I know we've talked, there's more this year for those that are trying to hunt it down.
There is. I mean, we'll do 540 barrels of it this year. And, you know, like when you put that in perspective, that's like a third of all of the beer we made in our first year in 2014, right? So it's significantly more. It's the same amount we did with Cocoa Bunny. You know, if we make too much of it, you know, people complain because it takes space out of Tropicalia or other beers that we could be making, but at the same time, we want to try to actually get it out there. And you know, this is meant to be sort of a seasonal for us. So the way we look at this is a seasonal offering. We bring it out right now because the hops are the freshest when we get them. You know, they're harvesting them in September, August time frame. We're getting them after the packaging to us. We're able to access them really around this time of year. So this is the freshest that we can get them. So we want to get it out there. Right now, you know, most of our seasonals feel like limited releases, and we're hoping to change that a little bit over time.
Yeah, getting expansion now. Hopefully, that'll really help with that process.
We're excited about that.
Definitely. So now, something I'm excited about. I just saw on your Facebook or Instagram that you guys just returned from brewing in Austin with Jester King.
Yeah.
Last year, of course, you had Mutualism with Jester King. They came here and brewed. What can you tell us about what you guys did in Austin?
You know what? I wasn't there this weekend.
Okay, sorry.
I'm here instead.
Okay,
you know?
there you go.
Which is probably a good thing. You know, they don't need me for brewing.
Okay, good.
So, we sent Adam, David, and Blake out there. They've been working with those guys. I mean, Jester King is just they're one of our hero breweries. They're somebody we idolize for the way that they, not only just the brewing that they do, but the way they think about beer. The way that they sort of take that idea of it having a sense of time and a sense of place and only being able to recreate it there. So I don't know a whole lot about the specific beer that they're brewing right now, I know they had talked about it ahead of time, but it'll be an exciting beer, I'm sure of that, and it's something that we'll be very proud of, and hopefully they'll ship a lot of it to us so that we can drink it on the side.
I hope so too, yes.
So Chris, something we've talked about a few times before, a campaign that you guys do that's important to you, the Get Comfortable campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something you do to raise funds for charity, help the less fortunate. You brew beers to go with it. You do a lot of events in that. We talked about it kind of at the beginning of the campaign this year.
Yeah.
How's that going so far?
It's going wonderfully. We just had actually this incredible dinner last night that was at a home of one of our employees in Boulevard. It was 14 tickets. Hugh Atchison came and cooked at the house. Wow. And we had Curious 6, Curious 8, Curious 10, See the Stars. It was just an incredible evening, and raised about $6,000 just on that one night. So we're on our pace. You know, our goal was to hit about $100,000 that we would be able to cut a check to the 5 local area nonprofits that we support who battle hunger, homelessness, and poverty here in Athens. And with the partnerships that we've been able to form with some incredible retail outlets, through what we've done as far as giving away all the money from all of our Wednesday tours, and the creation of we just launched our second Get Comfortable IPA, and of course we donate all of our profits on that beer. Our wholesaler donates all their profits on that beer, and most of the retailers, give a buck a glass or something like that. So it's a material thing. I mean, we went from $3,000 to $65,000 last year, and hopefully $100,000. You know, it's not a number that we sort of just throw out and want to hit. We're happy with whatever the team can do. This is on top. We don't have a separate team that does this. You know, our whole team at Creature puts this on their backs and really cares about the community and believes it should be better because we're in it. And so, we're fortunate to have an incredible team who can get behind a program like that and really drive it.
That's great. Now, you talk about your brewery tours that you had before. Recently, you've kind of mixed it up a little bit, and you're getting a lot more kind of almost brewery-only releases that are coming through.
That's right.
It's hard for us to keep up sometimes. We're like, oh my gosh, this one's coming out, this one's coming out. So it's
I got to drink them all.
Exactly.
You do, right? That's the challenge. You guys just let me know. We'll always make sure that we have.
I like that. I like that connection.
It's a program that really we kind of kicked off in October, and I think we all felt a sense of frustration frustration that we were brewing 4 beers sort of all the time, and
Yeah.
that was it. And we love those beers, and we're really proud of them. And the growth that they've had was unexpected, and as a result, we were always up against capacity constraints. So when we finally kind of got to a spot where we felt a little more comfortable, we basically took our 30-barrel fermenter and said, we're not going to use that for any of our core seasonal year-round beers, anything like that. We're going to do one-offs in it. And so, that led to Crescendo and then Duende and then Oh Fantastic Then and Modern Comforts and a variety of these beers, also Condor, some of these others. And so the goal is about every 2 to 3 weeks to be turning that over with something new. It creates a lot more excitement in the tap room because when you come, you can try beers that you can't try elsewhere, and it gives us a way to find out what consumers think and what they like. And some of those beers, Duende is a great example. We're brewing it again next week, and it'll be in a 60-barrel batch, and we'll start trimming some of these up depending on the success that they have.
Well, one thing I noticed, too, is as you've done a few of these and they've started to cycle through there, the first time you did it, they're gone. If you didn't get up here to get them, they're gone. And I've noticed, and I know you want to move them so the next one comes in,
sure.
But it's not like you have to run out that very day for most of the releases to get them. You at least have a little time if you want to get over there to get the beers.
We generally release on Tuesdays, and it's for a variety of reasons. One, we started this thing of Curious Tuesday a long, long time ago. People forget about it, but in our first year, we had probably 50 different beers, and we would just do one keg on a small system. And so now this is sort of the next iteration of that. And so we're trying to keep to that idea of Curious Tuesday, something new to try. It also gives our folks here in Athens an opportunity to potentially get a first stab at it, which, this is our home market.
Chris, we know.
And we're really excited, but we're grateful for everyone in Atlanta who makes the checks up. And, there's no easy way. The reality is that Fridays and Saturdays have really gotten very busy, and trying to add these launches onto that would really create our feeling is it would create experiences at the brewery that aren't as ideal as what we want to be able to make for people. And but all that said, come on a Friday or Saturday. There's still a good chance, particularly early on a Saturday, that you can still come in and get those, and they're available. They do tend to move through in about a week's time.
Good, yeah.
Excellent, cool. Well, Chris Herron, CEO of Creature Comforts, thank you so much for joining us on the Beer Guys Radio Show, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for what you're doing for the industry. We appreciate it every time, and great to see you guys out here.
Definitely. Awesome. Cheers, and congratulations on 3 years.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, coming up.
Excellent. Well, you'll listen to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We'll be back right after this. We'll be talking with Brian Roth from Southern Brewing Company.
There is something in the air.
BeerGuysRadio.com.
I'm sure you've noticed it. It is the sweet, sweet smell of barbecue permeating from The Nest, a new barbecue and beer restaurant in K-Town. The Nest is your new restaurant if you really love barbecue. Ribs, brisket, chicken, oh my. Did we mention the bar? The Nest of Kennesaw offers 49 taps of craft beer and an amazing bottle list as well. It's quite simple. If you really like barbecue and craft beer, you have to visit The Nest. Barbecue and beer in Kennesaw, near historic downtown on Cherokee.
We are Reformation Brewery, celebrating the reformer in you. Locally crafted within the renowned Etowah watershed of Woodstock, Georgia, Reformation creates yeast-forward brews full of aroma and flavor crafted to last. Come see us in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia, for a tour and tasting of unique brews that you can't find anywhere else. Reformation Brewery, set beer free. ReformationBrewery.com.
Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce this show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, Patreon, patreon.com/beerguys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guys sent you.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Cannonball coming.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Check us out at beerguysradio.com. We are in Athens, Georgia today. Woo-hoo. We're broadcasting from the 22nd Annual Classic City Brewfest. We're enjoying some good beers, talking to good people, and right now we're with Brian Roth from Southern Brewing Company.
Hey, how are you guys?
Brian, how are
welcome
you,
to the
man?
Classic City.
Thanks for joining
This is
us.
great,
We really
yeah.
appreciate it. It's an awesome event. We've this is my second year. I'm actually kind of a newbie, and Aaron's super newbie.
Oh,
to
nice.
this
I'm a
festival,
rookie,
so,
exactly. Yeah, I remember seeing you here last year. This is, I think, the longest running festival in the South, if I'm not mistaken, for a beer festival.
And I tell you what, the beer list is unbelievable. There's a ton of great beers here, and there's this bright green one that I just drank that some crazy maniac made. I wasn't sure what it was.
It's pretty intensely green, that beer.
Very green. And then I got a red beer, and we were having the holidays here.
It's a lot like Christmas has come early in Athens, or late, I guess, depending on how you look at
late.
it.
It's not early yet, I guess. So hey, welcome back to the show. We had you on quite a while ago. We actually saw
cheers,
you
thank you.
a couple of weeks ago at Hundapu's Day in Tampa. So what are you? What's going on with you guys? What's new with
What
you?
are you doing, Brian?
Exactly.
That's what we need to know.
So what's going on?
We're kind of bogging down a little bit with getting as much beer out of the brewery as we can, and then trying to keep the variety going at the brewery at the same time, which is a good, fun challenge. We've got a canning line coming in about 3 weeks, we hope. So we're hoping to start getting some cans out of the market.
Nice.
But it'll be a similar program to what we've got going now, where we're going to stay very local, keep it kind of low and slow, and just feed beer into the market and get it to the people that really want it. So
awesome. Now, you guys brought like one of everything to the fest today, right?
We did. Well, to me, this is one of my favorite festivals, and for all the folks that are coming from out of town, it really gives them a chance to come in and try some really unique stuff. So we brought back a lot of really cool double IPAs that we've been working on for a while. It's a good chance for us to kind of spread our wings a little bit, get some good feedback, and just have a good time. This is, I think, one of my favorite festivals for running into people and talking. So it's a really nice, well put together festival.
And Aaron, there was one that they had today here you were interested in, right? The Azalea of the Wood?
Yes, exactly. So I'm looking for that wild ale, which you guys do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Your Southern Woodpile, it's funny, we talked when we first started doing the show about a year and a half ago. I hated sour beers. I couldn't stand them. And Tim converted me to sour beers.
Nice,
And,
well done.
Yes, and now your Woodpile program I think is fantastic, and
Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much.
So I'm really interested in looking into that Azalea of the Wood. So tell us a little bit about how that was made.
Yeah, so we were excited to take the beer that we made using one of the, or I guess probably the first locally isolated yeast that we had genetics run on it. Lechancia tolerans is the name of the yeast. We took that. We've been doing different things with it, but we aged that for pretty much a year in puncheons. Reblended it, put it back into some barrels again. We were really digging the qualities we got off of it. We put a lot of other local wild yeasts in there, and we were proud to have it kind of enter the lineup. It was something that was kind of experimental in the beginning, but you'll be seeing a lot more of that because we're really, really happy with the results.
I've enjoyed all of those that I've had, especially we tried the muscadine.
Oh yeah, the
recently.
muscadine.
That's just excellent. But everything I've had from your foeder beers.
Oh, thank
Strawberry
you.
Cecil.
Yeah, the
all
Cecil.
Those, count me in for more of those. It's so good.
And this is a good time of the year for all of those. So we again use locally sourced fruit from about 6 different farms. The blueberry crop kind of got banged up this year, so that's going to be tough. The peach crop got hurt, so that's going to be tough on us. But strawberries and a couple of other fruits are about to start coming into season, so we're going to start coming back out. We got a lot of Flemish red stock, so you'll see Strawberry Cecil come back in a little bit bigger presence than we had last year. But that's one of my favorite beers we did, so I'm excited about that.
I've heard from brewers too that actually brewing with strawberries is a very difficult thing to do.
It's really, really hard. You get a lot of weird vinyl compounds that'll come off of strawberries, and it's hard to keep that fresh picked strawberry pop. So we spent the better part of a year, and I did a lot of strawberry experimentation at the pilot brewery before we got open. So we feel like we've kind of got our handle on it, but it's definitely tough. Every once in a while you'll get it to go a direction that you didn't really expect it to go.
I've noticed that a lot of them I have that say strawberry, even if it's not green strawberries, it tastes like green strawberries.
Yeah.
You don't get that sweetness, like you said, the sweetness, the fresh strawberry taste in there.
Yeah.
It's
and if you do, sometimes it comes off almost as being medicinal and more of an extract and not natural fruit. So
Right.
I think that's been the harder balance. But we're really happy. The place we source strawberries from is about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from the brewery. And they're amazing berries, so we get a really, really good product off of that.
Very cool.
Yeah,
look forward to
it's one of the things that you guys really strive to is keeping it as local as possible here in Athens. So, like you said, the yeast that you had before, and then some of the ingredients you do, that seems like it's a very important part of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so with that in mind, we don't sterilize or wash those strawberries. When they come in, we use all the wild yeast that's local to those strawberries, and with them only being about 2 miles away from the brewery, that keeps that flora and fauna on those berries very, very local. And I think it ties in well from a flavor perspective just for that very reason. So our yeast was caught 1.5 miles from where those are growing, so those bugs are kind of moving that yeast between us and them, which is nice.
But that's still kind of a roll of the dice when you do that, right?
It's a roll of the dice.
We know this and this is going to be on here, but what else tagged along with it?
Yeah,
that might
indeed.
jump in there, right?
So we have a really
cool,
yeah,
right.
And we're lucky to have UGA locally, so we're very deeply involved with the genetics department at the University of Georgia. We're about to start running genetics on multiple yeast pitches, so we're going to look at the foeder and we're going to actually see what's in there, what quantity of yeast is in there. We're going to see if there's been any divergence. So is our yeast evolving based off of the yeast that it's hanging out with? And that's going to be very exciting in the next 2-3 weeks.
Now, Brian, what I tried down at Hunapoo's Day that I just thought was phenomenal, the unique taste, the Amphora beer was down there. So that's tell us a little bit about that, because that's something super unique. You just don't see folks doing those.
Yeah, and I feel like we're the first commercial brewery to release Amphora in a long time. For a good 8,000 years, everything was fermented into a giant clay pot. We took that idea. I used to teach a world beer history class for UGA in Brunel, and I was always excited about maybe bringing some of those flavors back. We pitched into that, aged for a good 8-9 months, and somehow attracted the attention of the British Travel Channel. They sent a crew over, filmed a bunch of folks in Atlanta, and stopped by and talked to us a good bit. But that was the very first Amphora that we filled. We got a lot of beautiful, wet clay minerality out of it that we were not expecting, and that was very exciting. So we've got 4 Amphoras full now, and we'll see a lot more beer coming out of that program.
Cool. Now, of course, one of the big news that we've had here in Georgia is the passage of SB 85. We're still trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen, but how do you think that that's going to really affect your business model and what you guys do?
I was going to wait until you guys figured that out, and then I was
okay. Good. Okay, we'll figure it out for you. That's right. Yeah.
We see good things. I mean, I traveled all over the United States and the world, looking at how other states and other breweries do stuff, and in general, I've yet to go to a state where breweries are allowed to sell locally a little bit, where it doesn't do wonderful things. And wonderful things for the local economy. It brings more people in from a beer tourism kind of a standpoint. And it allows breweries to grow and add more people on. So from an economic impact, it's going to be phenomenal, I think. It's also going to allow us to support music locally more, which is a really good thing.
Is there any plans? I know that some breweries, like we had Wild Heaven announce that they're doing a space that they're going to have. Food is going to be a critical part of that. Is that anything you're considering? We're going to see a restaurant over there?
I would maybe consider that on down the road. I think the cool thing about Wild Heaven is Eric Johnson's experience on the food side is phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
He put together a fantastic place with Trapeze. He really knows that. I don't know anything about food, but we know a lot of really fantastic chefs and local entrepreneurs that own restaurants. So that's a much bigger piece than I would want to chew off right now. But, what I've been thinking about or tossing around the idea of is building a kitchen and then just bringing in local chefs from around the area and letting them cook and then, do
That's
some
cool
really
idea.
exciting thing with local food. So I'm excited about that more than anything.
And that really ties in. That's a good tie in there. Something we were going to talk about. Like you talk about having a local chef come in. You do that type of thing a lot with your brewing, too, don't you? Having other breweries in. And the one thing, Aaron mentioned briefly earlier is we just talked to the guys at Academia. And, they mentioned how you and your brewery are extremely crucial to them getting off the ground there. So
yeah, those guys are doing a good job.
I know you've had home brewers in to brew. You made me an offer when I was trying to get the wild yeast up. That was unsuccessful. We'll try again next
we'll definitely
year, Brian.
do it. Yeah, not a problem. We'll make that work.
But you're very involved in your community, and not just with other brewers and businesses and that, but kind of an open door policy there almost.
We definitely have an open door policy, and especially when it comes to brewing. To me, I never had a brewery turn us away. I had breweries help us so much and always willing to do it without any compensation. So I felt like it was really important to give back in that exact same way. So it would be disingenuous if anyone came seeking advice or help for us to turn those guys out. So we have about 6 breweries that we're working with right now. but it's kind of a revolving door. And I just like a lot of people coming in. I learn so much more when I'm hanging out with folks.
Yeah, absolutely. So more of a collaborative effort for you. You're just not stuck in the barrel. Cool. Brian Roth, Southern Brewing Company, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much, and keep up the good work. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate all you guys are doing to elevate beer in the state and in the United States. So
I like that.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
We'll keep you around then, Brian.
Cheers.
Cheers. I appreciate it.
You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, beerguysradio.com. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, this is Roger. I'm from Red Hair Brewing. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
If you're into craft beer, you need to check out Drink This Beer. It's a podcast from the creators of Beer Guys Radio. Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams talk to some of the best and most important brewers across the country and the world. So if you like to drink beer, pull up a chair and crack open the Drink This Beer podcast. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
It's Aaron and Tim, the beer guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta-area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the beer guys sent you.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the beer guy sent you.
If you really like craft beer, the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market invites you to their store. Not just growlers and craft beer, but everything you need for backyard barbecues and tailgating is available at Stout Brothers. Big Green Egg, accessories, local meats, cheeses, sauces, pickles, and more. If the gang's plans involve your backyard this weekend, you gotta visit the Stout Brothers. Stock up today and get ready for life. It's quite simple. If you really like craft beer, you have to visit the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market in the Smyrna Market Village.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I believe you have my stapler.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are in Athens, Georgia today. We're at Classic City Brewfest. And we're having a great time, talking to a lot of great people.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
So many great people. And right now we have the man here who makes Classic City Brewfest happen. We're talking to Owen Ogletree with Brewtopia Events.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good, Owen. How are you doing? Are you well rested and energetic?
No, I need a nap.
Yes, right, exactly.
It's been a long day, but it's been a good day.
Awesome. So this is your 22nd year of this festival, right?
22 years. It's
Okay.
unbelievable.
Was this 22 years ago? I mean, Beer Fest, you drank macros. You know, there wasn't a lot 22 years ago to have it. What made you decide to get this started?
My friend who owned a homebrew shop in Athens with me back in the mid-'90s went to Denver with me to the Great American Beer Festival. And even though it was a very smaller event than it is now in lower key, we were just blown away and we had the best time. And we said, we need to do this in Athens. And so we came back to Athens and talked to the people at the Classic Center, which is where we started out. Now we're at the Graduate Foundry Hotel. And people are like, I've never heard of a beer festival, but let's give it a shot. And the first year we had 100 beers, and it was Sam Adams, Pete's Wicked Ale, Sierra Nevada, Negro Modelo, Vorsteiner, Pilsner Urquell. But we had a great time.
Yeah, but back in the mid-'90s, those were your craft beers, so to speak.
That was great
That was
stuff.
exactly right. Yeah.
Well, that you still see a lot of menus that separate domestics and imports because your craft was mostly imported at that time.
Yes.
German, Belgian beers and all that. So
it's so weird that European styles got the ball rolling for craft in America, and now we've taken it to a new creative level, and now Europeans are emulating what we're doing.
Right.
So it's just gone full circle.
Yeah,
we've talked.
I was gonna say, go ahead. Yeah,
we've talked to a couple brewers from Europe. We talked to Will Avery recently with Galway Bay, which you visited not too long ago, right? But and they were saying, that they predicted they're about 10 years behind the U.S. But like you said, they're following the U.S.'s lead on what to brew there. We've done a big resurgence, and boy, we went all in when we started to do craft beer.
Yeah. 10 years ago in Ireland, it was lager, stout, and red ale. And now you can get sour beer, IPA, pale ales, wheat beers, everything.
Right. Did you think that you would be this big when you started this 22 years ago?
Well, we actually, one year at the Classic Center, we sold 3,000 tickets, but it was mostly to college students, and it was not much fun because they came in and they weren't really interested in the beer.
Get drunk, Owen.
They wanted
what they're there
quantity
for,
over quality,
right? Yes. They just wanted to party. I always said I wanted to sell 3,000 tickets, and then after that I said I never want to sell 3,000 tickets again.
Yeah.
We moved down here so we could be in all these multiple rooms and only sold 1,000 tickets, and we got the really good people, the people who are interested in craft beer and wanted to learn more and were serious, and it's been great since.
So what else has changed? You mentioned, kind of the type of drinker you have here has changed. And over 22 years, what are some of the biggest changes and kind of evolutions you've seen in the festival?
Just more breweries. I used to have to spread people out to fill all the space, and now I've got to squeeze people in. There's just so many new breweries popping up everywhere, and the craziness of the beer, the diversity of the beer, the sours and the barrel age and the chili pepper this and everything, which are not my favorites, but craft beer goes in cycles and trends. So I'm hoping that pretty soon it's going to go back to lagers and classic styles a little bit more. And
I had a beer from Southern Brewing Company today. It's bright green. I think they put Kool-Aid in.
Right.
That's the best. Have you tried that? It's the best beer at the festival.
Not yet. Are you serious?
No, I was. Here's something funny. I'll clue. Brian Roth told me to tell you that that it was the best beer.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But
everybody doing creative stuff, right, Aaron?
Exactly. And it's funny because one of the things that you're known for, Owen, of course, is the Atlanta Cask Ale Festival, which we do earlier in the year. You've got casks as well, and it seems like the casks are kind of a way for breweries to kind of just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
sometimes and just kind of go crazy.
Right.
Which isn't necessarily the reason behind casks over in Europe, but it's an interesting aspect of this event as well.
In England, where cask originated, that was kind of frowned upon 6-7 years ago. Don't throw all this stuff in the cask. Just put a good classic beer in the cask. But now in England, they're doing what we're doing. So they're emulating what's going on here. So they're putting some crazy things in their casks now, and it's kind of taken off. So
for better or worse, right?
I think England's about 2 years behind us. So Ireland's about maybe 6 or 8. So, and Germany's still just hanging on.
They're hanging on to the right.
They're not giving in. So.
That's right. That's right. So now one of the things that was interesting too is that you were looking for volunteers for this event up until really the last minute. Something that people may not know is that it really takes volunteers to put on brew events and beer events like this. Tell us about the importance of that.
Well, we spread the beers out so that there's not a line for any of the tables. I hate standing in line for a sample of beer, so I don't want to do that to anybody here. So we have to get almost 200 volunteers. And it takes a huge effort to get 200 volunteers, to train them, set them up, and make sure they do a good job. But I've got it down to a science now.
And that's something that people, may not know about. Not know that you need all these volunteers for this, for this event. So that's something that people should keep in mind for future festivals. When you volunteer, different places handle it different ways. I know here you're not able to drink with the way the rules are here while you pour. But you do something for the volunteers,
party, right?
Correct?
Yeah. Afterwards, we bring the cask down and tap a lot of beer and have bottles and order a ton of pizza and have a great party for the volunteers for a couple hours, and it's fun.
And some of your other festivals, like ACAT, the Atlanta Cask Ale Tasting, that can actually work a shift and drink there, correct?
Yeah.
So you get into the festival free, you help out to make sure everybody gets their beer, and then you get a drink, right?
Well, the Cask Ale Festival, we have 30 volunteers versus 200, and so it's so much easier to maintain that and manage that, and that's why I let them drink during the during the ACAT, but here it would just
too much.
It would be too much.
Yeah,
Too
definitely.
much drunk volunteers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We can't have that. So, Owen Ogletree from Brewtopia Events. How can folks get a hold of you or keep in touch with what's going on?
You can just search Brewtopia or go to brewtopia.info on the web and go to my website, and my email's there and everything about our trips you can go on with us and future events, stories that I write. You can see where I've been and the beers that I've tasted. So just go to brewtopia.info.
Awesome. And Owen, we're proud to say that Beer Guys Radio has been here since our founding year of Beer Guys Radio. We've been here every year.
Every year so far,
That's
yes.
great.
Both of them. So, yes.
That's impressive.
We appreciate you having us here, Owen. So.
Exactly.
It's always a pleasure.
Definitely. Thanks, Owen. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Excellent. All right, Tim, let's check out the hot list.
Time for the hot list. The beer guys have the scoop on what's going on next week. Brought to you by CRL Contracting. We build breweries. CRLcontracting.com.
Okay, what have we got going on in Georgia?
Georgia, man,
Yes.
good stuff going on. So a little quiet until midweek, but on Wednesday there's team trivia at Your Pie Perimeter, and it's one-off Wednesday at Red Brick, which they do every Wednesday. They have a one-off beer they serve there.
Okay.
So on Thursday, Gate City Brewing's alive in Roswell. It's Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter, where they have the featured pint for only $3.14. And there's a Relay for Life beer tasting and silent auction at Abbey of the Holy Goats. Then next Friday, Creature Comforts Get Comfortable that we were talking about just a little earlier.
Yep.
Their anniversary takeover at Truck and Tap. And on Saturday, there's a Crawfish Fest at Sauce House in Athens.
I'm a sucker for a good crawfish festival. That's always good stuff. In Alabama, we have got some good stuff going on. Yellowhammer is having a Yellowhammer beer dinner at the hotel at Auburn University on the AT patio. That's going to be on Thursday. Campus 805 in Huntsville, Friday and Saturday, going to have their Springfest 2017. Looking forward to this, too, the second annual Bee Hamburger Battle at Catawba Brewing Company in Birmingham. That's again on Friday. And then Cottage Hill Package Store in Mobile having their Monday Night Brewing Cask Night. So for folks there in South Alabama, you want to check that out.
Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Not Owen, Aaron.
Aaron who?
I forgot an important one.
Okay, what's up?
Next Saturday, we've got Creature Comforts anniversary.
We do, their third
Saturday
anniversary.
and Sunday
Yes.
is their anniversary party. So check that out. They'll have some awesome stuff on there, some unique stuff.
Very cool. Looking forward to that. Giveaway to giveaway.
We do have a giveaway
Yes.
to give away, and our winner this week, Aaron, is Adam Godfrey.
Nice.
Adam, thank you so much for subscribing to This Week in Georgia Beer. We do appreciate it. If you drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com, we'll get you a very cool swag pack out. Aaron, you know the drill, man. How do people partake in this?
Absolutely. Just visit beerguysradio.com. Sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer. You'll get a weekly newsletter with all the happenings in Georgia beer. You'll also be entered to win our awesome weekly swag pack, and we don't spam you, promise. So it's always good stuff. Coming up next week, we're going to be talking OTP brew pubs. Hop Alley's going to be in the studio with us, so that'll be cool.
Very
Looking
cool.
forward to that.
That'll be nice.
Absolutely. And also check out this latest episode of our Drink This Beer podcast. As we mentioned, we headed across the pond talking to Will Avery from Ireland's Galway Bay Brewing. It's going to be up right now, and you can check it out wherever you get your podcast. Check us out at beerguysradio.com and on the socials. And don't forget to drink local. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at beerguysradio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers. The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. beerguysradio.com.